Well, as we all know, there's a lot of issues that Democrats and Republicans and people in general will disagree with. But one of the things that like to think anyway, that most people would agree with is the idea that you want to see more people turn out at the polls. Every year after the election, then the turnout comes out, and it's 25% sometimes, 30%. It's a little bit more maybe in the presidential, but in the local elections, a lot of times it's just plain pitiful. So there's been a lot of talk about trying to come up with ways of spurring voter turnout and trying to get people, maybe trying to make it easier for people to register, trying to make it easier for people to get to the polls, talk about mailing, all kind of stuff. Well, so you think that everybody is on board with trying to get more voter turnout. Well, it turns out that the Republican-controlled legislature in Pennsylvania has other ideas. They're looking at ways in terms of trying to make it harder, yes, harder for people to vote. And to me, it's just incredible. Recently, the state Senate did pass a bill that would require certain types of people would have to show certain types of identification before they vote. And the thing is that this is pretty much a done deal. It's going to be passed by the House Republicans. They had approved something last year that was even stronger, so you have to think that they'll go along with it. And Governor Corbett has already gone on record as saying he's in favor of this idea. So you have to think that pretty much it's a done deal, probably sometime by the end of the week or probably by next week. And you just have to wonder, what exactly are the Republicans talking about, or what are they thinking about? Now, it would be one thing if this country was being overrun with instances of voter fraud. It's simply not the case. There may be an isolated instance here or there or something, maybe a voter here or there, but really there's not been any instance where you've had any kind of massive voter fraud. Basically, and it's almost impossible for it to happen on any kind of a large scale because people have to register, they have to register to vote, first of all. That's when they provide the proof and the documentation. So to think somehow that like you're going to have like, you know, thousands of people or something registering under wrong names and stuff like that, it's ludicrous. And to think somehow that it's going to happen or whatever, it doesn't make any sense. So they're looking at it, they're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. And you have to wonder, what are they trying to do? Because basically, everyone knows this is going to affect more the poor, the minorities, people that maybe don't have a driver's license, maybe don't have checking accounts, this sort of thing. And there's a lot of people out there that unfortunately don't have a driver's license. So, and also too, what's going to happen is you're going to have situations where now somebody comes in, well now they don't have their driver's license. So now you run down, oh, do you have a passport? Well, no, you don't have a passport. Oh, well, you got this, you got that. You know, it's going to take time, and people who are already in lines trying to vote, they're going to get frustrated. And then they're going to say, ah, to heck with it. I'm not standing in line for 2 hours while this guy, you know, gets his voter proof of identification thing in order here. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And the only thing that you can really think is that it's meant to hold down the voter turnout, and particularly among the poor and the minorities who tend to vote Democrat. So it's just really one of these things that you just really hope that people somehow, you know, the more this comes out and the more people really think about it. I mean, I think that to some degree, yes, maybe people do think that it's a common sense thing, and that's what Republicans are proposing. But when you think about it in terms of voter fraud, it's not a problem. It's not an issue. It's not anything. So what's the common sense thing? The common sense thing is to let people vote and to try and encourage people to vote, not to stop people from voting. So we're going to take a break right now. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
At theheraldstandard.com, our mission is to provide news, information, and services to enable our communities to prosper. Every day, we strive to achieve this goal through 3 dynamic products. Wake up each morning to a copy of the Herald-Standard.com newspaper delivered to your home. Enjoy the e-edition and exact replica of our print product on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Or secure unlimited access to our full-coverage digital news site online at heraldstandard.com. One local news leader, 3 great options.
Okay, we're here today. We're talking about the effort by the Republicans in the state legislature. The state Republicans in the Senate passed a measure last week that would require people to present some type of identification before you're going to be allowed to vote. It's going to be passed by the House. The House Republicans have already signed on to this, and Governor Corbett has already signed on to it. One of the things that I think, as I was saying in the first part, it's just really hard to believe that they're trying to do something like this when all the talk is about trying to get more people to vote, and the Republicans have come up with a plan to where you're going to have less people voting, and it's going to be tougher to vote for even those who do have proof. It's going to make for longer lines and things like that. And the thing that really, I think, just kind of bothers me somewhat is, Republicans are big about talking about, like, well, we don't want to hear about federal mandates and stuff. Let the states determine whatever. Well, the fact of the matter is, this is the 16th state now that's going to have some type of voter ID, and they're all proposed by the Republicans. So basically, you have the Republican Party, the National Republican Party, pushing this down the throats of Pennsylvanians. And I think that Pennsylvanians should be allowed to decide how they want to have their elections themselves without some kind of a national type of a movement, especially when there's no evidence of any fraud. So something to think about, something, the people really do need to let their legislators know, and to let people know how upset you are. So that's going to do it for this week's On the Mark Show. My name is Mark O'Keefe. I'm executive editor for Herald-Standard.com. If you want to email me a question, I'd be more than happy to address it next time. You can just send it to mokeefe@heraldstandard.com. And that's going to be it for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.